What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus package update, stimulus check update, daily news, everything going on here in our country, in Washington, D.C., with our economy, money, investing, the stock market, everything you need to know about on a daily basis. Remember that new videos come out here on our YouTube channel at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so you don't miss out on new videos. I will keep you up to date with everything. And if you find these videos helpful, don't forget to hit the like button for us down below. We got a lot to talk about. President Biden signs a major bill into law. Democrats are calling for multiple stimulus packages to be passed and presidential executive orders and stimulus checks. We got a lot to talk about, so let's jump right in. And the CDC changes a major guideline for the virus. Breaking news, actually, just here recently, just minutes ago. Here we go. There's a lot. Okay, the CDC has changed the isolation and quarantine time guidelines for Americans who test positive from COVID, changing it down from 10 days, now down to 5 days. Yeah, this is here today, just moments ago. You can let me know your thoughts on this. I think that this will be very controversial. I think some people might be for this. Some people might be against this. You can let me know your thoughts in the comments. Here's what just happened. The CDC on Monday cut the amount of time it recommends people should isolate after testing positive for COVID, reducing the number of days from 10 down to 5. Health officials similarly reduced the amount of time one should quarantine after coming in contact with someone who tests positive. The changes come amid a recent surge in cases that are just spiking out of control. Research has suggested that the new Omicron variant, while more infectious, causes milder illness. But the amount of cases are spiking out of control. CDC officials say that new guideline is in keeping with growing evidence that people with testing positive are most infectious in the 2 days before and 3 days after symptoms develop. So really that's 5 days exactly and doesn't leave any buffer time after the 5 days. CDC Director Rochelle Walensky said the country is about to see a lot of Omicron cases. Quote, not all those cases are going to be severe. In fact, many are going to be asymptomatic, she said on Monday. We want to make sure that there is a mechanism by which we can safely continue to keep society functioning while following the science. Meanwhile, doctors say today that between Christmas and New Year's, they expect the new Omicron surges to grow. And just yesterday, December 26th here, the U.S. reported 189,714 people testing positive. And these are only people that go to an official testing place that reports to the government. So if you take an at-home test, this isn't even included in there. So there's a lot of people that don't even get reported in these cases. So there's actually probably a lot more people testing positive. Or if you don't even take an at-home test, if you have it and don't even take a test, nobody even knows about that. So who actually knows how many people are testing positive and potentially spreading it? You can also see the 7-day average here is over 200,000 cases per day, 204,739. We're almost at an all-time high here as the 7-day average. This blue line here is the graph of the 7-day average. Yeah, it's really, really high. On December 23rd, we had 265,000 new cases in a single day, which is near the highest we have ever been, which I believe is 300,000 back all the way in January 8th, almost a year ago. So, and you can see how quickly it's rising. Yeah, and this is why we have both House Democrats calling for Congress to pass more COVID relief packages, more stimulus packages, like traditional stimulus packages, which is what stimulus package 1, 2, and 3 were, with stimulus checks in there. Because of this new Omicron virus and how quickly it's spreading and causing businesses to shut down, causing people to stay home, causing people to not go to work. And we have Republicans also, you can see this headline here, Republican lawmakers opening door to more funding bills to combat the Omicron virus as well. You can actually see this headline here as well in this video. More than 7,000 flights were delayed in the last couple days, canceled on Sunday amid the Omicron surge as well. 7,000 flights were delayed because they can't even staff the planes. 7,000 flights. I believe that's worldwide, not just in the US, but I think that was just Sunday alone, that statistic. Um, yeah, there's literally thousands of flights canceled in the US and worldwide. They can't even staff the planes because people are out sick and they have to quarantine, and it's craziness, not just in the U.S. but worldwide. And that's what's interesting, that we have Republicans now even calling for funding bills, aka stimulus bills, to combat the virus now, how bad it's surging. And we're at all-time high cases in some states and some areas of the country, and potentially we'll be here soon for the entire country. We could be at an all-time high of cases here. And it's affecting people, it's affecting businesses, it's affecting the economy, especially the travel sector, the restaurant sector, and multiple different sectors of the country here. Even Republicans are calling on more funding and more stimulus measures here. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here going forward. I will keep you up to date. President Joe Biden finally signs the major $770 billion defense bill today, as you can see here from this headline. This was actually really good news. It was a bipartisan bill by Republicans and Democrats. It actually failed in the Senate on the first vote, and they finally got a deal done between Republicans and Democrats, and the president finally signed it here today. This needed to be done before the end of the month, or else the military would have gone unfunded. The interesting thing about this is coming with some criticism, as they're trying to pass stimulus packages and relief for Americans, relief for businesses, and relief amidst the pandemic, and help for seniors, help for children, help for low income people, help for businesses that are struggling. And I'm not necessarily saying this criticism because I do think that our country needs to be defended. But the criticism that a lot of people are saying is, why are they spending so much money for this next upcoming year when we have now pulled out of Afghanistan? And I'll show you some of the headlines here. Here is some of the headlines. This is from Esquire magazine. It says military spending should get the exact same scrutiny that the Build Back Better bill gets. Why do we use different time windows for different spending proposal when there is no discussion of debt or inflation concerns when it's time to shovel money at the Pentagon? Remember that this $770 billion is just for 1 year of defense for our country. Now, don't get me wrong, we need to defend our country, but a lot of the criticism that is being said here is we should be spending less this year. Maybe it should be 400 billion, maybe it should be 500 billion, maybe it should be at max 600 billion. Why does it necessarily need to be $770 billion? In fact, President Biden only asked for, it was like somewhere around 745 billion, and Congress actually approved $25 billion more than what President Biden asked for. $25 billion in a year over the course of 10 years is $250 billion. $250 billion is nothing to sneeze at. That's not 250 million. That's 250 billion with a B. That's $250 billion. And this is not paid for. They didn't raise taxes to pay for it. This just basically goes onto the national debt because remember, the government already spends more money than they take in. And remember that we've pulled out of Afghanistan now. So we should be theoretically saving all that money, right? I mean, we're not there. We're not spending all that money every single day. And remember that I'll show you this headline previously from Forbes.com, pretty credible source. The war in Afghanistan cost America $300 million per day for 20 years, with more big bills yet to come. Now we're out of Afghanistan completely. So that's $1 billion with a B every 3.5 days. So why are we spending more money on defense now that we're completely out of Afghanistan? It does kind of make you wonder, even if you're like pro-military, right? My brother was in the military. He served in the military. So I can totally get that point of view. But it kind of makes you wonder, where's the savings? I mean, at best, you would think, okay, well, we can at least save that. That should be at least, I don't know, $100 billion off the top, at least some type of savings, right? And we could put that towards something else. We could put it towards money for seniors, money for low income, extend the child tax credits. Pick something, right? Pick all three of them. There should be money that we could spend towards people that are in need right now during the pandemic, right? Right? You would think something, right? But instead, they're actually spending more money this year than last year and the year before and the year before. It does kind of make you wonder. And again, I'm trying to see it from both sides. Again, I have a military member in my family, so I can definitely relate here. And I actually asked my brother about this, and he totally understood. It does kind of make you wonder, where's the savings? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And it also makes you wonder why Congress would spend more money, $25 billion, than the president himself asked for. Here's another headline. Another headline from Esquire magazine. Good to know that universal pre-K, which is they want to pay for schooling for young children, 3 and 4-year-olds. Most first world countries pay for pre-K. In fact, in Europe, it's been paid for hundreds of years in some countries' cases. That's one of the items in the Build Back Better package that they're trying to pass. Good to know that universal pre-K is a threat to our economic stability, and it needs to be paid for and go through all this scrutiny. But $768 billion for bombs isn't. The subheadline says, this has been insane for so long that it looks like sanity by now. Yeah. Here's another headline here. Why doesn't the Pentagon ever get asked, but how will you pay for it? Remember that none of this gets paid for. It just simply all goes to the national debt. They don't raise taxes every time they pass a bill, like the Build Back Better package that they're trying to ask. Or this, if they pass another stimulus package, is it fully paid for? That's what they're asking them to do here. It's just not paid for at all. It just goes to the national deficit. Does kind of make you wonder here. So they have passed this bill today. This is actually really good news because we needed to do that before the end of the year. It actually includes a raise. Well, first of all, we needed to do this to fund our military, or else it wouldn't have been funded. It does include a 2.7% increase for our troops, so they get a raise, which is good. It actually might be a little bit low with the cost of inflation. 2.7% is probably a little bit low. And remember that they actually gave $25 billion more than what President Biden even asked for, which is kind of crazy, to be honest. And more for aircraft, Navy, ship purchases, and in addition to strategies for dealing with geopolitical threats, especially Russia and China. It also authorized 5% more for military spending than last year. That's that $25 billion. and is a compromise after intense negotiations between the House and Senate. Remember, it failed in the Senate initially, and after being stalled by disputes over China and Russia policy. So let me know your thoughts on this down below in the comments. And this is one less thing that they have to worry about. Remember, they have to pass this every year. This is $770 billion every single year that they spend. So over the course of 10 years, that's like $7.7 trillion. And remember, it goes up every year. So really over the course of 10 years, it'll be like $8 or $9 trillion. So, but we do need to fund our military for sure, without question. And, it's actually good that our military got a raise, our troops got a raise. But it does kind of make you wonder why we're not saving a little bit now that we're not over in Afghanistan type of deal. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Now, remember that if they had a savings of $100 billion, that's enough for a stimulus check. $200 billion would be enough for a large stimulus check. So anything like that is a significant savings going forward. So and remember that $25 billion extra that Congress just added on top of what President Biden asked for, like $745 billion, and Congress added an additional $25 over what the president asked for. You extrapolate that over 10 years, that's an extra $250 billion. That's enough for an entire full-blown $1,000 stimulus check that they could give out to the people. And remember that that's just money that's just kind of gone, added to the national deficit, not really paid for at all. So when we talk about, you got to kind of figure out your priorities, because that money is just gone. It's just instantly gone. It's not like money saved or anything like that. And it does kind of make you wonder, like, where all this money gets spent on. Remember that you don't get to scrutinize the national budget of our country when it comes to defense or anything like that. But when it comes to like money for the people, when it comes to like stimulus checks, or it comes to like checks for children, the child tax credits, or it comes to like rent assistance, or it comes to any of these type of programs that we're talking about, right? They're just trying to scrutinize every single thing, right? If it comes to money helping the people, reducing the cost of childcare, Social Security raise, keeping Social Security solvent, like they're scrutinizing these packages to the T, right? Everything's got to be paid for. We have to offset everything. But when it comes to these defense packages, we got to defend the country. Don't get me wrong, but it's such a huge amount of money, and it's not scrutinized at all. It doesn't get paid for. It just adds on to the national deficit. So it's passed for this year, but it does kind of make you wonder um, if they're going to change anything in the future. Let me know your thoughts on this. Now it's over and done with for the year. $770 billion has just been spent for 1 year, and they're going to do it again next year, and they're going to do it again the next year, and the next year, and the next year, and the next year. That's kind of what we do here with our country. So when you think about our national debt of $29 trillion, over the course of the next 10 years, they're going to spend $8 or $9 trillion just in the defense of our country alone. And remember, that doesn't get paid for at all. And remember, the government already spends more money than they take in every single year. So it's really just kind of like one piece of the puzzle when it comes to government spending. So just kind of letting you guys know here what's going on with our country, how everything works. And remember that both Republicans and Democrats generally vote for defense spending overwhelmingly. It did have a little bit of a trouble passing this year. Remember, it failed in the Senate the first time around. So it had a little bit of controversy this time, but a lot of years it passes overwhelmingly. It did pass pretty significantly on the final vote. But even like Bernie Sanders says, when it comes to defense of our country, that bill passes with flying colors. But when it comes to like money for the people, helping out the people, oh no, we gotta scrutinize every little thing to the T. Now, in all fairness, though, They have passed 3 stimulus checks. We have rent assistance, mortgage assistance, utility assistance. We have child tax credits. We have student loan payment pause. We've had a SNAP increase, and we just had the student loan payment pause again. So we've had paycheck protection programs. We've had EIDLs. So we have had a lot of different things here throughout the pandemic. But I would love to see more here going forward, and I will keep you up to date here with a lot going forward. And I just had a big video on homeowners assistance, rental assistance, and several things here going forward. So definitely click on these videos here in a moment. Make sure to subscribe to our channel here if you haven't yet. It's completely free to do so. I will keep you up to date with everything going on here in the future and these new stimulus packages that they're calling for here in the new year. So make sure to subscribe down below. Just click the subscribe button. It's completely free to do so you don't miss out on new videos, and click the bell icon after subscribing so you get reminders when we go live, which is every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can click here to watch my newest video next, and you can click here to see my newest video about payments that were just approved that you can claim for rent assistance, homeowners assistance, and utility assistance. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.